Hello, folks. Welcome to episode 12 of Socially Awkward. We're going to cover 5 topics in about 5 minutes in digital and social marketing. As always, I'm Joey Cotkins, co-founder of Inside Social, along with Brewster Stanislaw, our co-founder and CEO. Lots of new and exciting stuff to talk about in the world of social, so we'll get right into it. So topic 1 is Facebook relevancy scores. Essentially, Facebook is providing within their ads tool a way to see what they think is a relevant score for the ads and the audience that it's going to go to. Apparently, it's based on how they think people will respond to it. It'll get updated in real time based on actual response. But what do you think they're up to here?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's another way to try and prove the efficacy of social marketing. It's another metric that you can attach to your paid spend there, and trying to help social media planners actually have more metrics to say this is what's working and this is the kind of good job that I'm doing. And also, I mean, if it really works as intended and they actually are providing data that actually helps you create more relevant ads for end users, that's sort of the trick of it, and we'll see how well that actually works. If they're able to do that, I mean, the goal, of course, is to drive more spend, right? If you're able to have more confidence that what you're doing is working effectively, you're going to spend more on that platform. So for them, it's about giving metrics to prove success and also helping their customers be more successful by giving them what they need to optimize for every individual piece of creative.
All right, cool. So sticking with Facebook ads, a lot of talk has been about the new product ads that allow you to see essentially multiple products within one ad type. So you can scroll through and see maybe, 5 or 10 different products from an individual retailer or someone else who's advertising. So I mean, what's meaningful here? Why is this new and cool?
Yeah, I mean, it's a new ad unit on Facebook, which is obviously very interesting to e-commerce.
Yeah.
There's going to be a high impact usage of this by e-commerce companies, and I think people are trying to kind of have a more direct response marketing relationship. But to me, that's really what's more powerful from a marketer's perspective, is that this is an acknowledgement from Facebook, and more than an acknowledgement, really an investment in social as a channel for direct response and not just for brand marketing. The longtime criticism of social is that it's really just for brand. And even then, you can't really understand how well it's working for the brand. But Facebook realizes, and this is something that's been put forward by how successful their mobile app install ads have been, is that social and paid social can also be a very powerful channel for driving conversions. And by Facebook creating this new ad unit, which is not a trivial engineering investment, they're actually saying, hey, DR advertisers, this is a chance to come to Facebook and drive conversions online. And it's a huge commitment to the e-commerce marketer community.
Yep, it's moving down the funnel. Very cool. So switching over to other platforms, but including Facebook, we've seen the launch of native videos from Twitter. Obviously, we know that the Facebook native video product's been pretty successful. But the elephant in the room, or the 800-pound gorilla, of course, is YouTube. What's going on in mobile and social video?
Yeah, so I mean, everyone knows that video is exploding, right? So that's the big prize. Video is continuing to grow with all the increases in mobile bandwidth. It becomes really plausible now to be big-time consumers of streaming video on your mobile phone, and that's driving a lot of the growth. And all of the big platforms want a piece of this. And to me, I don't really know how it'll play out. I think that kind of remains to be seen. You see the platforms like Facebook, like Twitter, who really want to own the video ecosystem. You have YouTube, which is fundamentally video, but has some social components, and they're all sort of competing for this, and they're also competing for talent. You have folks like Facebook actually offering lucrative deals to YouTube's top talent to say, come produce video on our platform. And
Twitter acquired Niche, which was the digital talent agency.
Yeah, and I just don't think exactly what's going to happen just yet. I mean, I'm excited to see how it plays out, but it's a land grab for everyone saying, we want to own native video, because that's really the future of media in a digital world.
Cool. So talking about a company we don't talk a ton about, but LinkedIn came out with an announcement with a ton of new advertising options, but maybe one of the more interesting is their ads that are going to be off of LinkedIn. We've seen this from Facebook, we've seen it from Twitter now. What's going on with advertising off of the platform?
Yeah, so this one stems from the Bezo acquisition, and it's really interesting. What they're really trying to create is a full funnel B2B marketing solution. B2B marketing is historically very fragmented. You have to use a lot of tools, you have to stitch them together, and there isn't really one thing that just sort of works. LinkedIn has seen that opportunity in consumer, building that sort of full funnel holistic platform, and they're trying to do the same in B2B marketing. And so in order to do that, they can't just be the portal, right? Like they have to extend that into other inventory, into other properties across the web and mobile. And that's the same thing that Facebook and Twitter are doing. What they're saying is that we have a fundamental data advantage. For LinkedIn, the data advantage is in B2B. They have better B2B data than anyone else. Facebook and Twitter are saying we have it for consumer. And this data is great for targeting within our ecosystem, but we don't want our ecosystem to be just facebook.com or linkedin.com. That's sort of the portal perspective, like the old Yahoo, right? They're saying we're a platform that takes our data and makes it usable and actionable and for inventory everywhere you might want to target someone, and even TV with some of what Twitter's doing.
Cool. All right, so lastly, just to share a little something with the viewers. I spent last week in New York at Social Media Week, and I got the opportunity to sit on a panel about social media influence. And just a couple interesting things came out of it. There was a lot of the panelists were all very well versed in what's going on in social media influence. And sort of what I came away with is that like we're still very much in the Wild West of influence, meaning that there is infrastructure built, a lot of people are playing in the space, but a lot of it still has yet to be defined. Like what success is, how to work with influencers, how to become an influencer. There's still a lot that remains to be unwritten. And then I wrote a blog post about this, so you can check that out. But a few things emerge, I think, as themes that are critical right now. Not surprising, but that authenticity, is absolutely critical. If you're a shiller or if you buy likes or whatever it may be that you do to gain influence, it's not going to be lasting. The next is like with anything else, hard work, luck, and talent are going to be necessary to be an influencer. You can't really fake any of those, and you need all three to be successful. And also just how many opportunities there are in social influence. I mean, again, because it's this crazy, wild world where a lot's at stake, a lot of people are investing, but no one really knows what's going to happen. There's still an enormous amount of work, and success still remains to be defined. So it was a really fun time. I encourage people to check out Social Media Week. It happens all around the world, and it was a pleasure to serve on that panel.
So as I'll interrupt and I'll be the host for a second because I never get to ask any questions, right? So I heard it was a sold-out panel, so that's great.
That was fun.
So I'm curious, what was the most interesting question that the audience asked of the panel?
So there's a bunch of good questions. I think what was most interesting was someone basically just said, do influencers work? If I'm a brand and I want to work with an influencer, does it work? And it's a good question because so many people have invested so many dollars in these digital influencers, and there's not really any data out there that suggests the success rate. One of the panelists guided people to look at engagement. If you can get good engagement, that's success. Sort of from where we stand, we want to see results. And you can define results however you want. If engagement's the results you want, great. But we really like to see people come off the social media platforms and see what they get their audience to do. And so, this comes back to the same thing where how do you define success? It has to be on a per brand basis. It has to be on a per campaign basis, and it has to be on a per influencer basis. So I don't know. I think I probably left the panel with more questions than answers, which is a reflection of the space itself. And I don't know, it was a good time.
Can I keep the host duties and I'll sign us off?
Yeah, do it.
Let me try this.
Do it.
So this has been Socially Awkward. It's 5 questions in 5 minutes. I'm Brewster. This is Joey. Thanks for joining us, and tune in next time. And off to SportsCenter.